Hello and welcome to another Maintenance Right on Schedule tutorial video. My name is David, and today we're going to be talking about checklists. I'm going to cover how to create a checklist and then how you can run through that list. Before we get into that, I do want to touch on just how vital I think checklists are. In my prior life to moving aboard our boat, I was a captain on a 100-ton passenger vessel. We used checklists extensively to make sure the vessel was safe and prepared for our voyage. So when we moved aboard our boat Starry Horizons, we immediately began using checklists. Every time we set up on passage, we run through our departure checklist. If we're preparing for a haul out, we run through our haul out checklist. It's so important to have these lists ready to use because if you're scrambling around at the last minute, you're going to forget things. And I've lost count of the number of issues we've caught and were able to fix before they became a problem out in the middle of the ocean, thanks to our checklists. Okay, that's my sales pitch for why you should be using checklists on a boat. Let's get into how you can use them within MaintenanceROS. Starting on the dashboard, we're going to come over to the checklist page over on the left-hand side menu. Now here, there's a couple different sections. At the top, you'll notice the daily checklist. We've covered this before in the tasks video, so if you want more information, you can go check that out. But just real quick, it's where we've gathered all the tasks that manufacturers recommend are done daily or every time you start or stop equipment. That can all be accessed here. So if you want more information, like I said, go check out that tutorial video. For now, I'm going to go ahead and come back to the checklist page, and let's focus on a checklist that you can create. I'm going to go ahead and start by coming and selecting this Create button. Let's say we're going to go ahead and create a checklist that we want to run through every time we arrive into a marina. So call this Arrive into a Marina. The first thing that I want to go ahead and do, if we're going to be sitting there for a while, we can remove the transducer. And we can go ahead and add another item to this checklist. Let's go ahead and say we want to store the sails. Add another item. Let's go ahead and say, let's get connected to shore power. Add one more item down here, and let's say, yeah, we're going to be sitting for a while, so we'll go ahead and pickle the water maker. Any of these tasks, if you decide you don't want them actually to be part of the checklist, you can delete them here. If you decide you don't want to create this checklist after all, you've got the discard button, but let's go ahead and create the checklist. This checklist details page, it's looking a little empty down here because we just created this. We have no run-through history, but we can see all the to-do items that are part of this checklist. And let's go ahead and just say, yeah, we just arrived at a marina, and let's give this a run-through. Two options. For the first time, you can click down here, Start Run-Through, or this Start button here in the upper right will always be there for you. This part should hopefully be relatively straightforward. Anytime that you complete a task, we went ahead and removed the transducer. We were really good and we stored all the sails. Just keep marking them off with a check mark on the left-hand side. Now, if you get distracted or called away or whatever happens in the middle of a checklist run-through, don't worry. We save the progress as you're going through. So you can go ahead and navigate away from this page and we'll still save where you're at. Now, notice I said navigate away. That's different from this skip remaining button. I'll touch on what that means in just a little bit. But for now, let's say we got called away, we navigate back to the dashboard, we're logging back into the account, and if you notice on this right-hand side, we now have a in progress checklist section. This is going to show all of those checklists that you have saved in progress. So very easy to come back and access and continue going through that checklist. Let's click on it one more time, come back through the run through. And we'll say, all right, we were really good. We got the shore power connected. And to show an example of what's going to happen, I'm going to mark that we've pickled the water maker. You'll notice that down here on the bottom right-hand side, it's changed to done. You can click that. We'll save all of those tasks as part of the history, and the checklist will be finished. For this example, I'm going to uncheck this pickle water maker, and we're going to go ahead and click Skip Remaining. This brings us back to the checklist details run through, and you can see for this last run through, because I had unchecked that pickle water maker task, we have saved that as a skipped task as compared to all the other ones which are showing as finished. Now we have some run through history, We started this run through March 28th. We were really good and finished it on March 28th, and this is the one that we're viewing. Now let's go ahead and come back to the checklists page, and we can see that sure enough, the arrive in the marina checklist is now added to our list of checklists, and we can see when we last completed it. I'm going to once more come back into the checklist details by clicking on the view button for this checklist we just created. And this shows, again, all the to-do items associated with it, and we now have a run-through history. So every time that you run through this checklist, we're going to include that down here, and you can view that run-through and see all the details. So if you skipped any steps, finished everything, that's all available here. I'm going to come back one more step, and I want to show you how you can edit the checklist if you like. Up in this upper right-hand corner, if you click the drop-down box, we've got the Edit Checklist option. You can choose to edit the name. You can remove any of the tasks that you've got listed. If you decide that you want to add any additional tasks, you can go ahead and do that here. Let's say, well, I want to go ahead and bring the cockpit cushions inside every time we come into a marina. Bring the cockpit cushions inside. Go ahead and save this. And note, any changes that you make, they're going to be applied for the checklist run-throughs going forward. So if you look through your run-through history, it's still only going to have the previous tasks at that time. Okay, that's going to wrap up our tutorial on how to use checklists within MaintenanceROS. I hope I have convinced you on just how vital they are to operating a boat. If you're not using them yet, this is a great chance to get started. And if you are already using checklists, well done, and hopefully you can now easily get them translated into MaintenanceROS. Thanks so much for watching.